Hey everybody, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What's on the news today? ID at Xbox gave their showcase. Well, we're going to talk about it. ID at Xbox showcase happened on March 16th, and they gave us a list of upcoming games. Um, the showcase itself was typical blah blah blah, but some of the games they showed were a lot more interesting than I was expecting. So I'm going to run through a list of what they called out. We'll just talk about a few that came across that I'm really interested in. So let's see here. We got Beacon Pines, Chinatown Detective Agency, Citizen Sleeper, Clash Artifacts of Chaos, Crusader Kings 3, Pat's upcoming favorite, Cursed to Golf. We'll get to that one for him. Escape Academy, Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, Floppy Nights, Immortality, Kraken Academy, Lost, I'm going to try to pronunciate this, Lost Eidolons, Paradise Killer, Rolling Thunder. It's a Roblox kind of game. Shredders, excuse me. This is No Light. I'm afraid to see what that one was. Trek to Yomai. That one looks really interesting. Tunic, Void Train, Whale Fall, and Wrestle Quest. All right, so let's jump into a few here. Let's start with one we all have kind of gotten some previous info on that just released, and that's Tunic, which came out on the 16th, I believe that was as well. So Tunic is a Zelda-esque colorful little game about a fox wielding a sword, because that's what people want, a fox and a sword. Now Nick, you've got it downloaded. You haven't got a chance to play it yet. What did you think about the trailers and stuff you saw
For Tunic or just in general?
Tunic?
For Tunic, Tunic's gotten really good reviews. I remember playing the demo maybe a year ago or so. I don't remember the last time the demo was out there, and it was okay. But I mean, and it's been a while, so I went ahead and re-downloaded it because a lot of the critics out there and users seem to be giving it pretty high praise. So I do want to check it out. It's supposed to be like a Zelda-esque type game. You're like Shane said, you're a fox with a sword, so it's for the furries. And you just go around and at puzzles and dungeons, and the world's supposed to be really cool. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like a really cool game. So I like I said, I have it downloaded. So and it's on Game Pass. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can go download it. And I plan on checking it out at some point.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check it out too. I just got to put it into my rotation of what I can play. The next one I wanted to bring up, we saw at the PlayStation State of Play, which was Trek to Yomai. Devolver Digital, that's the name that's becoming pretty popular here lately. Samurai game. It's a side scroller, but it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't have a side scroll feel when you look at it. It has more of a Kurosawa, Japanese samurai thing going on. Black and white. It looks fantastic. Now, Pat, you've seen the trailers and stuff on that as well, have you not?
Yep, it looks pretty cool. And it's all in black and white, which is kind of cool. If you played the Ghost of Tsushima, you have an option to play that all in black and white. I think Nick may have played that, and Russ, when he was playing with us, may have played that. So it's definitely one that I'm going to play. It looks pretty good. Looks like cool graphics, even though it's all black and white. I'm a little bit of a graphic snob, so the first one that Shane picked, Tunic, is a little bit rough for me. I do like Zelda, but I need a little bit of visual help there.
Yeah, Tunic definitely has a art style that's a little different. It's not bad. It's not a graphic horse. So I can definitely understand your feeling on that. Now, the ones that really caught my eye, Chinatown Detective. That one is kind of a 16-bit story-driven detective game. You talk to people, you ask questions. There's options of right or wrong, basically. It's all voice acted. I believe it's all voice acted. I know most of it is, at least. It looked really interesting. I'm hoping the story comes out good. It's by Humble Games. I can't think of what they've done previously, though. Crusader Kings 3 has already been out on PC. It's coming to Game Pass. So if you haven't played it yet, that's a good way to play it. So, jump on board if you don't have a PC. You can do it on Xbox. I bet if you ask these two guys right here, though, Crusader Kings 3 is probably a PC, really just a PC game. I don't know how they're going to do it on, controllers. So, what do you think, Pat? You're the biggest PC guy. You think any way they could pull that off?
You can be mashing a lot of buttons. There's a lot of damn menus in Crusader
Yeah.
Kings 3. I don't know how you're going to scroll across the map efficiently, click on things. I mean, that map can get extremely busy after a while, especially the more dynasties and families you get involved. And it's going to get messy in number of kids that you get. And it's going to get messy. I don't know how else to say it. I don't think that game is going to do well on the console, to be honest with you. They're typically really good on the PC because you have a little bit more finer control, and that game is filled with menus within menus within menus. So Xbox and PlayStation, wherever it's all going to come out to, you're going to have a hard time, but it's coming to Game Pass. So that may be a saving grace. So people will get into it. But in my opinion, there's no better place to play it than PC for a game like that. And then the other one that you mentioned, it looks like another one, and I can't remember the name of it, that was kind of in a similar fashion, but it reminds me a lot of this. What's that? Yeah, the Chinatown Detective. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a low res Disco Elysium, a little bit maybe, but
yeah, it's a good
maybe. But there's another one that you kind of played a detective.
Me of LA Noire is what when you were saying it, like what you do in the game, it kind of sounds like LA Noire in the sense of how it plays, as far as like the voice acting and choosing different stuff.
Yeah. It looked really neat. I didn't think I would I'm not a big 16-bit guy in the new age, but it did look really interesting. I like story-driven stuff, though. So as long as it's got a good story, I'll play it, especially if it's good voice acting, because, Patrick's graphic whore, I'm a voice whore. So
you can play the prologue. Prologue is out now, and it's free. It's been out for a couple of years now.
Oh, I will be doing that then.
So if you just you can go to Steam and look under General Interactive. I believe that's who the developer is for them. And
yes,
and they'll and there's a Chinatown Detective Agency Day One, a little interactive prologue.
Yeah, it's a Humble Games.
They're the publisher. Yeah, it's General Interactive Company's a developer.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wait. All right. Probably the next one that it was just a trailer, which kind of sucks, but it looked really interesting, which was the crap. I lost it on my list here. Oh,
is it your movie one, your Immortality one you want to talk about?
No, Immortality is definitely one that I love FMV games. At least I used to. They really have kind of fall under the way. There's a few on Xbox that I've seen. A couple of them are on Game Pass. I don't know. They weren't very great, but the one that I saw for Immortality is a interactive movie. So basically, you can pause, do things, and flip the script. You can look behind the scenes. It's kind of a mystery thriller thing. I think it's kind of a little bit of a sci-fi aspect to it. So that one really is kind of interesting. And it looks like it's pretty good quality too. I mean, it may not be Night Trap worthy, but it looks like it's going to be a really good game overall. You guys ever get into the Night Trap or what was the Dreamcast one? Sewer Shark.
That was Sega CD. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sega CD. Excuse me.
I played. I used to play those back in the day. a lot of those FMV games. My favorite was I think it's called Over a Killing Moon, and it was like you're a detective, and kind of like this game. I mean, that was more of, I guess, in the more in the line, I guess, of more of, I guess, Myst. It did have its FMVs, but I kind of think of that like, was it Phasmagoria and 13th guest or 11th guest. Yeah. Games like that. I played a lot. I did play Sewer Shark, and I did play Night Trap, which are the more funnier ones, I think. But
I've never played Night Trap, never heard of it.
My
only real experience to these was like the Phantasmagoria game, and then also the Man in Medan style series, the Man in the Sedan and those type of games. Those are about my only extent to it. And the only reason that we did those is because those are co-op. They were funny.
All right. So just a quick history lesson about Night Trap. This game actually was brought up at the Supreme Court or Congress, excuse me, because parents were like, oh my God. It was basically an FMV of a bunch of girls having a slumber party, and murdery stuff happens. So you guys go look it up.
Wasn't that Phantasmagoria as well? It was like a guy and a girl bought a mansion or something, and it was haunted, and he gets taken over, and there's sex scenes in there and everything. And you're like, wow, these are
yeah. Oof. Yeah, if you can get those games, so get them, because they are truly classic. The game I was trying to think of was Flintlock. I could not bring that dang words into my head. It's Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. A44 was the publisher. Basically, it's just a trailer. Chick walking up. She has an axe. A skeleton thing starts lifting itself up off the floor. It pulls the sword out, goes running at her. She's like, no, thank you. Axe to the head. Looked really, really good. Really interesting trailer. So, problem is, it was just a trailer. It could be an 8-bit side scroller, and that's just the trailer. We don't know. But the trailer did really draw me in. Now, the one I have to get to, my piece de resistance. And I just can't believe I liked the trailer so much. Wrestle Quest. It's a WWE game where it's RPG based, and all the classic pro wrestlers will join you on your quest. You got Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Macho Man Randy Savage. You get them all, and you're on a quest, and they will join you. I mean, I'm sure there's a side quest for steroids or something. I mean, it just looked really interesting. I'm sure one of the moves is Roid Rage or something. It just looks stupid. It looks fun. It's the character designs in them, or I don't know how to describe them. They're not like a 16-bit thing, but they had that kind of a color palette to me. So it was a really interesting trailer, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm actually interested in a wrestling game now. So I was caught off guard by that one. Some of these games, they are coming to not just Xbox but PlayStation as well, like Trek to Yomai. So the game that Nick was talking about before we recorded, just for Pat, is Cursed to Golf. Am I right? Did I guess right? Yeah, I do. I guess right. We had a hard time playing a game called Golf with Friends, or as Pat called it, screw my friends, I'm quitting. So this has no resemblance to that game. It is a side-scrolling. I don't even know how to describe it, because you're literally just playing
was golf is what it looks
exactly,
like.
Exactly.
I'm like looking at some of the screenshots going, there's moving platforms, and you're trying to knock a golf ball over water and spike things. And it looks like somebody took the worst damn Mario level ever and put golf in the middle of it.
I can't wait. Can't wait to play it.
We're reviewing it, gentlemen. We're reviewing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does not look like fun.
last week we talked about the PlayStation State of Play and how it was kind of, it was blah. I mean, few things were interesting. I think ID at Xbox had some really, really interesting announcements. I'm not a big retro player. Nick is, but I think there's a lot of things in here that retro wise look really cool. Some newer stuff like Trek to Yomai, Immortality, uh, Cursed to Golf. I mean, I think there's some really interesting stuff in there. I think they did a good job. Hopefully, we are almost at the end of March and E3 typically coming up. So hopefully, this is an indication of some quality stuff that's going to keep getting announced and more games. So, what did you guys think of the games that were announced? Anything that really just triggered you that we talked about?
Well, I'm triggered, but no. So a couple of them, I was looking through the list, and a couple of them that look like they might be interesting and fun, or one of them that I thought would be interesting and fun to play together is the Escape Academy. And that looked like it was going to be a co-op, like escape room thing. So I was like, that would be kind of fun to play with your friends. I mean, we've done an escape room, the actual escape room. Those are probably way more fun than this. But, if you're not at the escape room, it would be fun to do some like escape room stuff in a co-op, like online type of thing. So that sounded like it'd be pretty cool. Also, I just wanted to put out there like Lost Eidolons. If you're an Xbox Insider, you can sign up for the beta for that. So if you want to check that game out, so if you're an Xbox Insider, go check the Xbox Insider app and see if that's available to you to sign up for. And then Shredders is already on Game Pass. So you can go download Shredders now, as well as Tunic, and play both of those. So yeah, there really wasn't any other, I mean, besides the ones you went over, Shane, there really wasn't any other ones that I saw personally that really stood out to me as far as I can't wait to play them. Some of the ones you mentioned do sound pretty interesting, especially that the wrestling one. That sounds like something I wouldn't mind checking out just to see the old wrestlers and stuff like that and stuff. But everything else is, I don't know. I'll have to see more about the rest of the stuff that's on there.
What about you, Pat? Was there anything that was like, ooh, what? I can get into that. Besides the Curse to Golf, I know you're excited.
Yeah, I'm excited not to play that one. I'm already forgetting about that one as we're talking. So, I mean, it was just it was one of those ones that I'm like, okay, whatever. It looks okay. It takes something about an indie game to get me excited. And and after you were talking about that Flintlock one, that one does look pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind checking that one out. What was that Whalefall one? That SRPG and JRPG kind of combined thing. That looked like a really good one to me. I want to know, somebody needs to tell me how the hell and why the hell Crusader Kings 3 was on ID at Xbox. I'm confused. Paradox Interactive is not an indie developer. Why the hell are they on there? I don't care that it's coming to Xbox and Game Pass. It's supposed to be for indie developers. Did Paradox decide they were going to sponsor this? What the hell's going on, Microsoft? I thought it was for indie developers. So somebody please tell me how the hell they got on the list.
They needed a round number.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I don't get that one at all. Why that's in there. So like I said, and we've known about Void Train for a while. I don't know what to think about WrestleQuest. I like RPGs, but it's like wrestlers. I'm like, it looks like an 8-bit kind of weird. I don't know, this 8-bit / 16-bit RPG, because it almost looks like it has some turn-based combat in it too. At some point where all the wrestlers are lined up. So I don't know about that. I will probably give it a try though. I will have to admit. And
Come on, you can be Miss Elizabeth.
And Lost Eidolons, that's been on my list for a while, but that's something that I would not pick up on Xbox. I'd pick it up more on PC because it looks like a PC based. I mean, it is a PC based, like turn-based strategy game, so you would want to play some. I hate using the controller for stuff like that. I like mouse and keyboard to be able to click in squares and look at abilities and stuff. So, but that one's supposed to be out sometime this year, and I'm looking forward to that one. I've got that on my Steam watch list, and I have been watching it for a while. until when it comes out. I mean, so you can you can request access to the beta, but I'm horrible about doing that. I don't like doing that because I want to play it from the perspective of the developers. I don't want to get my viewpoint tainted by buggy issues because I'm not willing to put in the time or the effort to help them fix those. I just want to play. That's what I want to do. So I'm good. To me, it was just a mediocre one, but I shouldn't say that. I don't put a lot of high hopes on the ID at Xbox, so it's easy to get like some cool stuff out of that because it's all indie developers. I have an open mind for that stuff because sometimes there's just indie games that just blow you away, and sometimes they're just like meh. So it's just like everything else, right? It's just we have way more indie developers pumping out games, so the potential to get something great is just out there. Find this little hidden gem indie developer game. I mean, we've found plenty of indie developer games that we're like, hey, check this out. We end up spending hours in their early access. So go check them out.
Yep. And I would say Trek to Yomai and Immortality are probably the top two on my list. I've found several more than there that were really interesting. Definitely the WrestleQuest is on my list. But the top two were definitely Immortality and Trek to Yomai. So. You guys have anything else before we go? All right. Make sure you let us know what you thought of the ID at Xbox showcase there. Make sure tell us what you were excited by or disappointed by, what you liked, what you would like to see next time. And don't forget to hit the notifications. Thanks for subscribing. Tell all your friends to subscribe. Tell your grandma to subscribe. We put out videos pretty much 5 days a week. So let us know what you think, and we will see you next time. See ya.